Friends, on this 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time A, the Gospel opens with a simple but deeply moving line. When Jesus saw the crowds, his heart was moved with pity for them. Jesus looks at people who are tired, searching, wounded, and wandering, and his heart breaks open with compassion, not to judgment, not to frustration, compassion. And that compassion becomes the reason he calls the 12 and sends them out. Before there is a mission, there is mercy. Before there is a sending, there is a seeing. Before the disciples do anything for Jesus, Jesus first sees them, loves them, and calls them. So Matthew tells us the crowds were troubled and abandoned. That is not just a description of ancient Galilee. It is a description of our world today. People are carrying quiet burdens, families stretched thin, young people searching for meaning and purpose, elders feeling forgotten and abandoned, communities wrestling with violence, poverty, and uncertainty, souls longing for peace. And Jesus sees all of it. He sees you, dear friends. He sees me. He sees our exhaustion, our hopes, our prayers, our wounds, and his heart is moved. The Christian life does not begin with what we do for God. It begins with what God sees in us. So Jesus says, the harvest is abundant. He's not talking about crops. He's not talking about gardening. He's talking about people longing for healing, people longing for belonging, people longing for forgiveness, people longing for hope. The harvest is indeed abundant because there is abundant loneliness, there is abundant confusion, there is abundant hunger for meaning, there is abundant desire for God. And Jesus' response is not to complain about the world, but to send laborers into it. So the list of the 12 is not impressive. They were fishermen, tax collectors, sinners, people with bad tempers, people with limited understanding and intelligence. Yet Jesus calls them by name. He does not choose those who are qualified. He chooses those who are willing, the teachable. He chooses the one who will conform and allow their lives to be shaped by the mission. And he sends with a simple but profound commission. Go, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, drive out demons. In other words, bring life where there is death. Bring healing where there is hurt. Bring freedom where there is fear. Bring hope where there is despair. So when Jesus says, ask the Lord of the harvest to send laborers, he's not talking about someone else. He's talking about us. Every baptized person is called to be a healer in a wounded world, to be a peacemaker in a divided culture, to be a witness of mercy in a judgmental age, to be a light in places of darkness. We may not feel qualified. We may not feel ready. We may not feel holy enough, but neither did the 12. God does not wait for perfection. He walks through availability. He does not wait for perfection. He walks through availability. So this line is the heart of the gospel today. Without cost, you have received. Without cost, you are to give. Everything we have, faith, forgiveness, grace, breath, life is a gift. And Jesus invites us to give as freely as we have received. If you have received mercy, show mercy. If you have received healing, help others heal. If you have received love, give love. If you have received hope, share hope. This is the Christian mission, to let God's compassion flow through us into the world. So, dear friends, today, the gospel reminds us of three truths. Jesus sees us, our struggles, our hopes, our wounds. Jesus calls us, not because we are perfect, but because we are loved. And lastly, Jesus sends us to be instruments of healing, peace and hope and love and forgiveness and mercy. May we allow his compassion to move our hearts as deeply as it moved his. May we become the laborers our world so desperately needs. And may our lives proclaim the good news that God still sees, that God still calls, that God still sends his people into the world with love. May God bless you and have a beautiful Sunday. Amen.